data manipulation, data controlling, everything can be described on this relational algebra. If you are going to consider only one table, on that table, whichever record we want, depending upon the requirement of the user, here it will reuse the values. Left join, the name itself suggesting that left table, whatever content is there, it will take as it is, but the common thing will take from right table. Sigma is used to select operation, whereas in project operation we are using phi operator. Welcome back to one and all. Myself Vasanta, lecturer in computer science, Vidhyaashram, Pre-University College, Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. Today we are going to start with the last session, that is 7th session of database concept chapter. Whereas in the previous class you have studied regarding entity relationship diagram, how to write the diagram, then what do you mean by generalization, specialization, aggregation, as well as cardinality. With that you have studied regarding keys, which are the different types of keys like candidate key, primary key, alternative key, super key, foreign key. Regarding that you have studied in the previous class. Today we are going to discuss about relational algebra. What do you mean by relational algebra? Then which are the unary operations, binary operations, then what do you mean by data warehouse, then advantages of data warehouse, disadvantages of data warehouse, then what do you mean by data mining, how the data mining will perform. Regarding that you will come to know on today's class. First we will discuss about relational algebra. Whereas in the previous class you have studied regarding what is a relationship, different types of relationship you have studied, whereas now you are studying relational algebra. Then what do you mean by this relational algebra? Relational algebra is a procedural query language. To apply queries we require this relational algebra. The data manipulation capabilities for database can be described through relational algebra. Data manipulation, data controlling, everything can be described on this relational algebra. It consists of set of operations that takes one or two relation as input and produces a new relation as output. Here consider relation is nothing but table. By considering one or more table and it will produces one new table. On that table, whichever requirement the user want, on that way here it will produces. It will take one or two relation as input and it produces new relation as the user want. On that way here it will produces. It is a procedural query language. And here when you come on the types, there are two types. One is unary operations we can able to perform on this, as well as binary operation also we can able to perform on this. Unary is nothing but here the relations occur between only one table. Here, whereas in binary relation occurs between two tables. Whereas in unary operation the operations can carried out in a single relation. It means that only one table here it will want to consider. For example, consider one table, that is relation. The relation name, that is the table name is student. Consider the table name is student. In this we have few attributes like student ID, name, marks 1 as well as marks 2. Consider these are the attributes on this table. Here ID I am going to take x1, x2 as well as x3. And the name I am going to take Anu, Akash, Ajay. Consider these are the names. Marks 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 and then 20. Consider these are the values on the table. Whereas unary operations, here it will apply only for one table. Only one table here we have. On this table only we can able to perform select operation, project operation as well as rename operation. Only one table we need to consider. On that table only we can able to perform all the operation. Whereas binary operations means here we want to consider two tables. On that tables we will apply the operations. Now, one by one, we'll discuss about unary operation. Under that, already I told you, select, project as well as rename we have. When they come on select operation, the select operations retrieves all the tuples from a relation that satisfy the given condition. It will going to consider only one table. On that table, whichever record we want, depending upon the requirement of the user, here it will retrieve the values. For example, the same example here I am to consider, only one table here I am to consider. For example, student. On this student table, student ID as well as name, and then for example total. These are the attributes: ID x1, x2, x3, name Akash, Ajay, Anup. Then total 10, 20, 30. Now, whereas select operation, here the select operation retrieves all the tuples. For example, I want to select the student ID is x1 of all that information. Then we are using select operation. Here we are using the operator sigma to access the values. Sigma, here sigma of this table, student table, where their register number or ID number is x1. Like that, we can able to give the command here. Main, the operator here we are using is sigma operator for select operation. Here it will select, it will retrieve all the tuples from a relation that satisfies the given condition. Whatever condition I want, I can give and I can able to access. For example, I can select all the information of a student ID is x3. Then this entire information I can able to access by using select operation. Whereas project operation, in project operation, the relation may have number of attributes. More than one attributes I can select here, and all of which are not always required. Consider in this we have three attributes. Whichever attributes I want, that attributes I can use it to select some of the attributes from a given relation. Consider here I want to select only student ID as well as name. Full information. Full, that is x1, x2, x3, Akash, Ajay, Anup. Then we are using project operation. In project operation, we are using the operator pi to represent the operation, whereas sigma is used to select operation, whereas in project operation we are using pi operator to access the values, especially attributes in the table. Then the last one is rename operation. The name itself suggesting rename. Whatever name you want, that name you can rename here. For the table name, whatever name, rename you want to give, that you can able to give. Whereas the rename operation returns an existing relation under a new name. For example, in this case, we have student table. I don't want student is the name of the table. I just want to rename it as student 1. Then we are using this rename operation. Whereas under rename operation, we are using row is the operator to represent this operation. These are the few unary operation. Unary operations will apply only for one table. On that only one table, we can able to access the records, columns, and if I want, I can able to rename also. Next, we'll discuss about binary operation. Binary operation, the name itself suggesting that binary relational operations. Here, we are going to consider two tables. On the two tables, we can able to access whichever record, whichever method we want, like that we can able to access. Consider we have two tables. One is yes and one more table is R. Consider I am having two tables. The first table name is yes and the second table name is R. Here I am having the values. For example, A1, B2, C3. Okay, one more table. Here R. There A1, A2, B2, C3. Consider this is the contents of this table. One is yes and one more is R. Whereas union, the operation of two relations yes and R selected as all the tuples here. All the tuples here it will to select union. Whereas here it will select A1, B2, C3, A1, A2, B2, C3. Only thing, it will go to avoid the repetition and then we can get the answer. All the values, both union, see, yes union R we want to take. Then on that time the new table pattern will be first A1, then A2, B2 and then C3. Like this pattern, I can able to get union operation. Then intersection, A or we can call it as S intersection R. Then how the operation will perform? This operation finds common tuples. Which are the values will be common here? On this one, A1, here also A1, B2, B2, C3, C3. That here if you go to display intersection, this operation finds common tuples in two relations. Whichever the common thing is there, that here it is going to select. For example, on that the relation we are going to get A1, then B2, then C3. That is intersection. And the next one, difference. The name itself is suggesting difference. The difference of two tuples in the relation that contains all the tuples in the first table and not in the second table. Difference between two table value here it is going to generate. Next relation, Cartesian product. What do you mean by this Cartesian? For example, consider we have two tables. One is S and one more is R. Here also A1, B1 as well as C1. Consider these are the values in the first table. Then here A2, B2, C2. These are the values. In Cartesian, what it will perform? First it will perform with the first row, then second one, then third one. Afterwards, B1, A2, B1, B2 and then B1, C3. In the same way, C1, B2, C1, C3 like that. For example, here it will come, here it perform the Cartesian product, that is product, that is S into R. First, it will display like this pattern, like A1, then A2, then A1, B2, A1, C3, next B1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2, then in the same way. Afterwards, once again A, B, C, everything it will take. Then once again C1 with A2, B1, B2, then C1, C2. Like that, everything will perform in project operation. That is nothing but Cartesian product. Multiplication operation. Whereas in the previous case, here both the values it will take from both the table. Here intersection, whatever the common thing that will take. Whereas difference means the difference between first and second table here it will take. Whereas Cartesian means it's the product of both the table. Whereas join operation, the name itself representing join. Join is used to combine related tuples. To combine related tuples from two relations. Related tuples can be combined here from two tables. In other words, join operation is the cross product of two relations. A cross product of two relations. When we come on types of join operation, we have two types, natural join as well as outer join. In natural join, the main thing is here it will join, but it will remove the duplication. Whereas when they come on outer join, here also it will remove the duplicates, but in this once again we have three types. One by one we will discuss. Natural join. Natural join will remove the duplicate attributes. Whatever thing in both the table, whatever duplicate is there, that here it will remove. Then in most system, natural join will require that the attribute have the same name to identify the attributes to be used in the join. Then with that, if we do use natural join, we need to make sure that the relation do not have two attributes with the same name by accident also. By same name also, there should be way to avoid the duplication. These are the major concept on natural join. Only thing you have to remember is way to avoid the duplication, that's all. But when they come on outer join, once again it is classified into left outer join, right outer join, full outer join. Then outer join retains the information that would have been lost from the table, replacing missing data nulls. This is the major thing regarding outer join. Left join, then what do you mean by right join? What do you mean by full join? Consider here we have one table and here also we have one table. Consider this is a left table and this is a right table. Left table and the right table. In left outer join, whatever content here, in left everything will be there. In right table, the common thing will take. Left join, the name itself suggesting that left table, whatever content is there, it will take as it is, but the common thing will take from right table. Whereas right outer join, here right side table, whatever content we have, that will kept as it is, and only it will take the common thing from left table. But when you come on full outer join, here both the table will merge and it will going to give the answer. These are the major concept on outer join. Okay. Next, we'll discuss about data warehouse. What do you mean by data warehouse? Why we require this? Then what are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? Now we'll explain it. Data warehouse is a repository. The main definition to remember, it is a repository of an organization's electrically stored data. It is a repository of an organization electronically stored data. Already I told you in the previous class, you have character. The collection of character can be called it as field. The collection of field can be called it as record. The collection of record can be called as the table. The collection of related table can be called as database. I told you in the previous class. Then why we require this database? It is a collection of related tables. Then data warehouse is nothing but collection of related database, related tables here. Huge amount of content present here. In the electronical format, we'll store all the information here. That is data warehouse. Usually for 1 marks, you may going to get the question, what is data warehouse? Data warehouse is a repository of an organization electrically stored data. Data warehouse designed to facilitate reporting and supporting data analysis. This mainly helps to maintain, reporting, organizing, managing all the data in a database. The concept of data warehouse was introduced in the late 1980s. Mainly here collection of relations we have. Several tables will be there. Related tables will be there. To manage that we require data warehouse. Then when you come on the fundamental stages of data warehouse. Consider what do you mean by data warehouse? Collection of all the information in the format of tables, in the format of relations, everything it is collected. Then when they come on fundamental stages, the first stage is offline operational database. Then offline data warehouse. Then real-time data warehouse. Integrated data warehouse. I am going to give an example. I am going to consider any malls. On that shopping malls, we are going to consider the offline there on that shopping malls, they will maintain all the information regarding the product. How many employees are there? Which are the products today it is inputted to the process? Which are the outgoing products? Which are the recently running product? All the information they are maintaining. Then offline operational database means what do you mean by that? The history regarding the product, which are the products are already came here, how much it is running, everything, all the information they have to maintain, they have to update. Offline operational database. Then offline data warehouse. It means that now exactly without internet also, whatever transaction it is occurred, everything also we have to maintain. This is history of the data. Whereas presently whatever thing it is happened with offline, everything it has to be updated. Then real-time data warehouse. What do you mean by this real-time data warehouse? I am going to give an example. For example, I want to book 3 tickets. I want to book 3 flight tickets. Then what I will do? I am going to give the command to the airlines. How many tickets are available. Then from there, I am getting one more message. 4 tickets are available. I give the command, how many tickets are available. Then from there, I get one more reply that 4 tickets are available. Then once again, I am to give one more command, I want to book 3 tickets. Then immediately from there, I get one more reply that no tickets are available. Then what happens? It means that within that few seconds, somebody have booked the ticket. Is it no? In the same way, whatever transaction occurred immediately, that has to be updated. That is nothing but real-time data warehouse. Whatever transaction is occurred immediately with a few seconds of time, the transaction has to be updated. Then only we can get the clear information regarding the product. Is it no? That is real-time data warehouse. Then integrated data warehouse, everything here it is integrated, and whichever data we want, only that data on that huge amount of data, whichever data I want, that I can integrate it, I can merge, I can combine, on that I can segregate, and whichever data I want, that data I can able to access here. That is integrated data warehouse. These are the fundamental stages of data warehouse. When you come on advantages, what are the advantages or what are the components? Now we'll discuss. When you come on the components of data warehouse. First, data source. What do you mean by data source? Consider in this shopping mall, we have all the resources, all the information we have. That information itself, call it as data source. The second stage is data transformation. What do you mean by this data transformation? You have huge amount of data. That data can be called as data source. On that data, I have to extract, I have to clean the data which I want. I'm going to clean the data. That has to be analyzed, that has to be formatted. That is nothing but data transformation. Consider I'm having huge data. On that data, I want to take only few limited data only. That data as it is I cannot take. That has to be cleaned, that has to be analyzed, that has to be in proper format. That cleaning of data can be called as data transformation. See, I am going to give one more example. For example, I want to prepare sambar. For that sambar, whatever ingredients, I can call it as data source. For example, data transformation. For example, vegetables I am having. I am not going to put all the vegetables as it is to the sambar, is it no? That has to be cleaned properly. That has to be cut properly. How the user want. That is nothing but data transformation. Cleaning, organizing, how the user want. Like that, we have to convert that. That is data transformation. Then reporting. What do you mean by this reporting? Whatever transaction occurred, that has to be known by the staff. What exactly the operations we are performing, everybody has to know regarding that. For example, if I'm going to consider shopping mall, on that whatever data we have, that can be called as data source. Data transformation means the cleaning of data in a proper way. Then reporting, that information has to be available to the staff. Everybody has to know regarding that, which is the product is now outgoing, whether the stock is there or the stock is clear. Everything has to be reported. That is reporting. Then metadata. Status of the data. That is nothing but metadata. It is the information, description about data. What exactly the data is there. Status of the data is called as metadata. Then operations. It can be support for both, for input operation, output operation, manipulation, everything. Creation, updation, modification, for everything it has to support. Then optional components. These are the few data warehouse components. Now is it clear? Data source is nothing but information, huge data, source, data transformation, cleaning, reporting, that has to be available for everyone, metadata, status of the data, operations, it supports all the operations, then operational components. These are the major components of data warehouse. Next, we'll discuss about the advantages of data warehouse. When they come on advantages, it enhances end user access to reporting and analysis of information. I'm to consider shopping mall only. Then it will be easy for you. In this, when they come on advantages, then what are the advantages? Online process is taking place. That's why everybody can able to access the data. Everybody can able to identify which product is there, which product is not there in the shopping mall. Everything they can know. Then when they come on drawback, then we have to give some training. Sometimes it is updated, outdated. Okay, like that we have some disadvantages also. Then increase data consistency here. That is also one of the advantages here. Increase productivity and decreases computing cost. If you maintain all the information in a computer, through that only if I am going to transacting, then cost will reduce us. And here it increases productivity also, as well as decreases the time consumption also, as well as cost consumption also reduces here. able to combine data from different source in the one place. I can get all the information from different place and I can place it one particular place and I can able to access. That also one of the advantages. Then data warehouse provides an infrastructure that could support changes to data and replication of the changed data back into the operational systems. These are the few advantages of data warehouse. It means that you can generally analyze and then you can write. All the data I can get in one place. Time consumption is less. Cost consumption is also very less. It is flexible. And increase data consistency. Like that, any sentence you can write, then also you will get full marks. Right? The advantages of data warehouse. Next, we will discuss about disadvantages of data warehouse. Already I told you, in transformation, what I have to do? I have to take the data from huge data and that has to be cleaned. Is it no? When they come on disadvantages, extracting, cleaning and loading data could be time consuming. That whatever data we have, that data directly cannot able to take. That has to be converted in a usable format. That may takes time. And data warehouse can get outdated relatively quickly. When new version will come, then old version will be outdated here. Then problems with compatibility with the system already in place. Already if you have one system, for that system, the data warehouse has to be supported. Sometimes there may be compatibility. Then it provides training for end user. Must and should be able to give training. Otherwise, we cannot access properly this. We need training for the end user. The end user is the one that finally uses that. In the same way, it needs training for the end user. Security is also one of the major issue here because everybody is accessing the information. That's why here security we cannot able to give properly. These are the few disadvantages of data warehouse. Next, we'll discuss about data mining. What do you mean by mining? General agi mining andre ಏನು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು? We are extracting whichever data we want, picking whichever data we want from huge data. That is nothing but data mining. It's a process of analyzing data from different perspectives and selecting relevant information. Consider the shopping mall only. There we have all the information, everything we have. Regarding staff, regarding product, incoming product, outgoing product, daily running product, every information we have. On that information, we want only the selected information. For example, I just want to know how many of them are purchased particular product today. Does it know? That can be called as data mining. Data mining is nothing but picking the data from huge amount of information. That is data mining. General agi mining andre ಏನು ಭೂಮಿಯಿಂದ ನಾವು extract ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. That is nothing but mining. Whereas data mining is nothing but in the database, in a huge data, we are picking whichever data we want. When they come on the stages of data mining, first we have to select which data we want to access. That we have to select. That has to be pre-processed. When you're mining any product, on that time it has to be cleaned, is it no? That can be called as pre-processing, transformation, interpretation and evaluation. These are the few stages of data mining. First we have to select which is the data I want to pick from huge data. Then it has to be pre-processed, it has to be cleaned properly, then it has to be interpretation and evaluation, how the user wants. On that way it has to be converted. It means that this is the major stages of data mining. Usually you will get the question, what do you mean by data mining? Mention the stages of data mining. Okay, these are the major questions from this chapter you will get. Next class, we will meet with new concept. Thank you for all of you.